Our next speaker is known to you. Meg Hillier MP for Hackney South and Shoreditch. She's also chair of the Public Accounts Select Committee and supported anti-racist initiatives throughout the borough. She's condemned the actions of the school publicly. I saw it in her roundup this week. Say hello, please, to Meg Hillier MP.
Thank you. What happened to Child Q was degrading and humiliating. And at the point at which the people who should have been protecting her in that moment, they let her down. They let her down and they didn't protect her, a girl in the midst of Hackney. And as Diane Abbott said, in some respects, a few things have got better over the last 20 years. But, no, if you let me finish, if you let me finish, if you let me finish, if you let me finish. I said a few, and I mean not enough by a very, very, very wide mark. Because it's not just about Child Q and what happened to her. It's much wider than that. We know, you know, there are still too many people who think, for example, that Africa is a country, not a continent. Our medical students not trained to understand. I need to music down, I can't. Medical students who are not trained in the impact of what they do on black skin. Government policy laid down, again, not understanding the impact on black children and black people. And I'm a mother of white children, and I know that my experience is massively different to the parents of black children. And that is not right. That is wrong. We need to see a huge shift in culture. This is one of the worst examples, but we still see children targeted because of their hairstyles. The parents of black children frightened when their children leave home because they do not know what will happen to them, and they worry they will be stopped by the police far more than parents of white children. It is not equal. The culture needs to shift, and we need to see that as children even expelled and excluded from school because they have natural hair. This is not right.
You need to tell the people about that. We already know it's not right.
I know, and I'm agreeing. We all know. Right.
Okay, Meg Hillier has given the mic back to us. Thank you all. Brothers and sisters at the back, can we have a little rest? Okay. This is Nia. This is Nia. Nia's from Rise 365. Can we have a little less noise for the young woman over here, please? Can I ask you to respect privacy, not to ask her any questions? She just wants to speak to us today.
Thank you all, everyone, for coming today. We are truly grateful for all of you being here today and supporting us in this situation. I, as a young person, am not proud of what the police have done in this situation. I feel as if they've let us, the community has let us down, and I feel as if the police need to be stopped, as what they've done is not okay for anyone here. And no child at 15 years old should be experiencing that in school, where somewhere they should be safe. Children should be able to wake up in the morning and feel safe going to school. And the fact that it took this young lady 2 years to come out about this, it just shows that it wasn't part of a priority for the school, and the school just did not care. And it's just not, it's not fair for everyone. It's not fair for the student, and it's the fact that no one needed that. It was unnecessary and over the top from the police people. Not fair at all. No, it's not okay at all. It's not okay at all. Oh, no. Not okay at all. We as people, as young people of the community, going to become in the next generation, we need to better this community and get more people in power that are not racist, that are equal and fair to everyone. It's just everyone, and it's not picking at people. We need to make London great, and we need to make this area feel better. We need to make children feel safe, children to be able to speak to people and be able to show their views and come out about it straight away, not wait 2 years for it to come out. Us as Rise 365 will be supporting young people and helping them to be able to come to us and speak to us and let them know that they have a safe space, even in situations where they feel like it's not important. Yes, it is. Yes, thank you.
We've got another young woman. She's going to have to introduce herself because she's just found her voice.
Hello, I'm Khalees. I went to an academy in Hackney and it was hell for a black young lady. I've heard young people say online, there's no point going to a protest, there's no point going to things like this because it will happen again. What I'm telling you is not going to happen again. We're going to get justice. We are going to get justice. That's all I have to say. We're going to get justice.
Oh boy, look out world. Look what's coming up. Fantastic. Child Q was judged by her appearance. Nobody should have their race define who they are before you have ever spoken to them. No matter the gender, no matter the age, and no matter the race. Child Q's dignity was stripped from her, the same way the police officers involved should have their jobs stripped from them. The only evidence that they had was that she allegedly smells of cannabis. After the traumatizing event, nothing was found on her. Some police officers hide behind their badge when in reality they are weak cowards. They abuse the power that they are given. Who do you go to when an officer has done something wrong? The police? They protect one another and never enforce the law when it comes to their own. Boris Johnson has failed to make a statement about what has happened. To me, that speaks volumes. A serious situation is scaring the young citizens of the nation that you are supposed to improve. One of your roles as a Prime Minister is to oversee the civil service. Teachers and police officers are included in this. I demand an explanation as to why you are unable to do a job that we as a nation trusted you with. Child Q was treated like an adult when they failed to call her mother. You and people from a younger generation want to speak up to make a change. All of a sudden we're children again. You don't get to decide when we are children and when we are not. My voice is going to be heard no matter my age. I've been raised to fear the police instead of feeling safe when they're around. We will no longer be silenced by the police. We are more united than ever. We are unbreakable. Other minors that have suffered at the hands of the police, please know that you are not alone and speak up if you feel comfortable. If you ever encounter a police officer and they are treating you in an unfair manner, make sure to get their badge number, the time and the date when it happened, and the station they work at. Thank you. Also jot down a description of the police officer at the time. My voice may be going, but my power is not gone.
Thank you, everyone. First and foremost, I think we've lost the reason as to why we are here. I'm really, really upset with the type of speeches that I've heard right now. And I think it's extremely important that we remind ourselves of the significance as to why we are here. We've had a young girl at age 15 brutally, abusively, violently degraded, dehumanized in a school. Someone's just asked me over there, what is the solution? Well, let me give you one solution. The solution is, first and foremost, in schools, teachers need to do their roles properly. It's extremely important that teachers, your first line of duty is to safeguard every young student in that institution. So let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I am a teacher, so I know what I'm talking about. If you're a teacher and you're listening to me in the crowd, safeguard your young black people. Safeguard our students in schools. Because let me tell you something. As well as the police, who we have to take account and who we have to scrutinize, schools have also let us down. I am a victim of institutional racism. My colleagues behind me are victims of institutional racism. And now we say no. So this is what I'm going to do before I get off the mic. I want everyone to just raise their right fist up in the air like this. I want to see every right fist in the air right now. I don't care if you're black, white, I don't care. Raise your right fist in the air right now. Because what we are saying is, we are making a declaration that we are not having none of this no more. For decades, we've suffered and been suppressed under institutional racism. For decades, we've been brutalized and abused by the police. And now we make a statement and we say no more. No justice! No justice! No justice! Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
My message will be short, but I want it to be heard. Going to school, I felt disgusted. Telling my mum the information that happened to the girl, we were both disgusted. My mum does not want my sister to go to any school where there's no safeguarding team. The children don't have any trust in the teachers. Why is that? And especially the black children in the school. We should be safe in the school. We come to school to learn, but we also come to school to be provided with care. Care. Where's the care? Where's the care for child Q? Where is it?
Keep going.
Again, this cannot go unsaid, unspoken about. Justice needs to be made for child Q, no matter what. No justice? No peace. No justice?
No peace.
Hi everybody. I want to just start by saying, just like everybody else, how horrified I was by the things that I read. The bottom of my stomach dropped out when I heard what happened to child Q. And I just want us to keep in the backs of our minds why we're here today and the change that we need to see for child Q, for child Q's family and all the black girls, women and young women, and yes, older women as well in this community. And I take your point, this is also happens to black boys, but this is definitely about the dehumanization of black girls and women that happens in our society. So I will be really brief. I want to hear from those who've got these young people here. But I just want to say that I'm on the Police and Crime Committee at City Hall, and I can promise you today that I will be asking those questions to the Mayor and to the Assistant Commissioner about what happened. Just like Diane, I don't believe this is the first time this has happened. It has happened here in Hackney. This has happened in other parts of London to black women and girls in other places. And we want to make sure that we are united in making sure that we have clear action from the leadership of the Metropolitan Police. The other thing I will also say is that we have also here in Hackney, I've heard stories over the years. I've been doing this only for 9 months at City Hall. We've heard stories over the year about the fact that families, black people, black men, black boys are threatened and have been treated appallingly by the police here in Hackney. So that question about the leadership of the police here in the borough commander, Marcus Barnett, needs to not only ask himself some clear questions, but to be accountable to black people here in Hackney. And if he cannot do that, then, just like the mayor, he needs to go. So what I can promise you, every black girl in this audience, every mother, every father, I want you to contact me when you get home today at City Hall, and I will be making sure to be behind you, to be leading, and to be asking those questions of the leadership of the Metropolitan Police. There is an opportunity here in the next few weeks. We were expecting a new police commissioner. Cressida Dick has gone. So we want to make sure that the next person that replaces her understands the needs and the expectations of black Londoners and also the black people that live here in Hackney. So thank you very much.
Our next speaker is a proud black disabled woman. Born and raised in London to Jamaican parents. She's worked in the disability field for over 15 years. She works on the national stage, the international platform. We know, don't we, that it's not just schools, it's not just police, it's all our institutions, all the different places where we find ourselves subject to the power of the patriarchy. Michelle's going to talk to us now. Michelle Daly.
Hello everyone. Blessed love and respect to Child Q and her family. Can everyone hear me? Yeah, great. Also, nice respect for everyone who helped pulling this together. Brother Patrick and all of our sisters out there, too many. You know, it's so hard for me to be here and speak. The pain is so hard. I'm sorry, I can't amplify my voice too loud. So what I'm saying is it's just so painful, I know for all of us, because what happened to Child Q was barbaric and replicated the practices of the plantation. I repeat, it was barbaric and replicated the practices of the plantation. But we know the plantation hasn't ended. The legacy continues and continues and continues. But our ancestors have given us the strength and the baton to continue fighting. And we always know that our black sisters are the ones who are always being treated the worst. Fact. But when I say sisters, I mean people like me as well. It is not an ableist conversation out here. Let's stop deleting us from the conversation. Remember, I am black as well, okay? And too many of our conversations that are happening are creating too much absences and erasing us from the conversation. That's not good. We have to stop that. You know, I had a speech written, but I haven't even looked at it now, but I will draw into it in a minute. But I wanted to say, with this crowd, this is great. But remember us. And remember where I have to come to speak. Everyone was there, and you can see the design, how we're always erased. That can't happen. And it can't happen. We must stop now. Because when we talk about black rights, remember, your disabled sisters as well, okay? Because don't keep leaving us to the mercy of the white people's hands. We are not being protected. Okay? We are not. We are definitely not. And when you're doing that, you're making dangerous assumptions. When I'm speaking, I'm not just speaking for myself, I'm speaking for everyone. All of us, disabled sisters who are excluded, segregated, and erased from all of the struggles. But we were part of the struggles as well. Yes. And stop erasing us. Because what we're seeing from Child Q is one of the practices. What they do is when you get trauma, they say madness, and then they dump us. That has to stop. I'm going to go to my speech. Sorry if I've taken too much time on the mic, but I'm going to continue. Let me tell you, segregation or education is not a myth. It is not a myth. Segregation is played down through the terminology special needs. Remember, the label special is not special, it's segregation. It is legal to separate children based on being like me. And if we're happy with that, shame on you. Education establishments are abusing their power to remove black and disabled children into separate and unequal education facilities, such as PRUs, alternative provisions, special schools. I wish I could say that again, but I'm getting tired, so I'm going to keep going on. We need to demand to end zero tolerance in schools, because we know who that is impacting on. School exclusions. Remove the damn police from schools. Treating our girls in schools like open property. They're not open property, we're not open property, what is going on? And abolish all forms of segregation and harm in education. Unaddressed segregation education is a major injustice which must be abolished, because it continues the cycle of racism, sexism, disableism, and ableism in society. We will not stop campaigning until all forms of violence against all black women and girls end. Justice, peace, one love. Thank you.
First of all, can I just thank you all for coming out and standing in support and solidarity with Child Q. This is a sign and an image that needs to be sent not only around London, but around the country and around the world. Everyone needs to see how many of us are upset and enraged by what happened to a child in a place where she should have been safe. So I'd like to thank you all for coming out and standing together with all of us here. And I'd also like to thank Patrick and all the organisers for organising this wonderful event. I've got a couple of things to say. I've been told I need to be quick. I'm not very good at being quick, but I'm going to try my best, because my son has said to me, don't shame me when you stand on those steps today. So I'm not going to shame him. So I'm standing here principally as a mother of black children, a mother of black girls, because we stand here today in support and solidarity with Child Q, who is a child, a black child, a black girl child. And the reason that I say this is because the experiences of black girls are too often minimized. A very long time ago, because I'm not that old, but I'm a little bit old, I took the decision to do a PhD on black girls. A whole PhD just on black girls. And when I decided to do that PhD, I was told by people who should have known better, why would you waste your time studying black girls? No one cares about black girls. They pose no problem. They go about their lives and they're fine. And that, to me, it showed me two things. First, it showed me the way in which black girls, black women are minimized. Our experiences are considered non-important, not important.
We have you. We've got you. We've got you. Yeah, we've got you. We've got you. We've got you. The sisterhood is here. We got you, Debbie. Make some noise for the sister. Show some support.
The second thing it showed me is that they consider black girls as adults, as too sensible. And the process to which Child Q was subject was adultification, and it has to stop. We send our children to school every day to be educated. We send our children to school to have their minds and their horizons expanded by knowledge. We send our children to school to be cared for and nurtured by those who have the responsibility to care and nurture for them. We do not send our children to school to be harmed, to be scrutinized, to be dehumanized, to be brutalized or violated. We also do not send our children to school or any other institution We do not send our children to any other institution to be treated as anything other than children. Not as adults. But this is what happens to our children when they leave our homes. They are considered adults and treated accordingly by those who are paid to care and safeguard them. So there's two things that we need to do. For those of us who are adults in this crowd and have positions of responsibility, there's two things that we need to do. The first thing we need to do is we need to listen to our children. Yes! When they come to us and they tell us that they see harm and they experience harm, we need to hear them. But we need to hear them, but we also need to give them the space and the opportunity to speak for themselves, as those children have been doing today. And in the same way that Child Q, in taking those actions against the police and the school, as she rightly should, is taking her own agency, using her own voice, using her right. And we need to give her the space to do that. But the second thing that we need to do as adults who have some responsibility is we need to show leadership and acknowledge and recognize that institutional, systemic and structural racism exists.
That's right.
There will be people who will tell you that it doesn't, but it does. And those systems and those structures enable those with positions of power to make decisions around our children that harm them. And that is what happened to that child in that school with those officers. So we need to not only acknowledge the existence of institutional structural racism, but we use that knowledge to root it out and take it down and call it out wherever we see it. Because we have seen it and it exists around us. And our children are living and walking in situations in which the context of institutional racism does not allow them to be the children that they deserve to be. So let us give them that opportunity to live their lives as children. It is their right and they deserve it. Thank you so much.
Debbie Weeks-Bernard, Deputy Mayor for London. Thank you. In solidarity there with Black Girl Child Q.